and welcome to Lesbian Talk, episode 94.
Why did you say it like that?
4?
Stop it. People are sleeping in the next room.
Well, yeah, they probably are.
I know, right? Yeah, I'll move the camera closer to us.
Oh,
Now
no.
you can really hear us in stereo.
In space.
Actually, it's in mono because I only record us in stereo when we do it over Skype with a guest. So that way I can isolate the tracks and I can clear out the noise.
It's really annoying.
Actually, hold on. You entertain the public while I turn my computer off.
It's really annoying whenever it's done like that, because those of us who have a headphone set that only has one side working can only hear one of us, which includes me. So I try to be supportive and listen to Lesbian Talk occasionally on YouTube, and it's like, oh, I'm only hearing one side of the conversation, so this makes it sound like it's insane and or arty.
And or always right. No, it's because I have to do it that way because of the way that we record, because the differences in our sound qualities. So I can capture a noise print from silence on your end, and then I can modify the hearable frequencies in yours. But if I do that to mine, it sounds like I'm underwater, so I have to do mine separately. Also, because of the headphone port, sometimes I have to amplify myself before I can capture the noise print and use adaptive noise reduction.
Yeah, but you could extract it and then put it through again as a mono.
No, I can't, because for some reason Adobe Audition has decided that it's just not having any of it.
I'm going to assume that is all present and correct.
I tried to, because I've tried multiple times to use multi-track mixdown to burn it into a single thing, and it's just not having any of it. So I don't know why that is if you know write the show. But anyway.
Does anyone ever write the show?
People comment.
That's not writing the show.
They commented.
That's commenting the show.
They commented on YouTube and said that I am always right because I am so brilliant and wonderful. And the reason you don't see those comments is probably because they got marked as spam by YouTube because they don't like life. So I'm always right is the way that you have to think about it. So anyway, so how's your life been? What have you been up to? Since I saw you 2 days ago.
I've been working on the See Me Dance review. That's the most interesting thing. That's such a high level of interestingness. I've been watching Sense8 while I've been doing that. I am about a page left from See Me Dance. Got to source some footage to show off the parallels the film has with various films like The Thing and The Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And I'm also waiting for some footage from someone for a cameo. I'm waiting for cover art, but it's nearly finished. And tomorrow I'm going to start on the voiceovers for the All-Con crossover with Film Brain.
That's a lot more than I'm doing. I'm just writing a novel and I'm going to Scotland.
She's going to Scotland without me?
Well, it's not. Well, first of all, I asked if you wanted to go. It just, you would have had to pay for your ticket and pay for half the room. No, there's actually a really interesting psychology conference going on in Falkirk on Tuesday. About women and autism, gender diagnosis, and a lot of that kind of stuff.
Although it might have actually already happened by the time you listen to this.
Yeah. I'm going to try to get this up as soon as possible before I go, because I'll be out for 3 days, because you could fit the British Isles in Texas, but it still takes me 3 days to get anywhere and come back.
So this is going up as ASAFP.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, no, so it's really cool. The one of the keynote speakers is Dr. Judith Gould, who's been doing a lot of work in gender diagnosis in Scotland. So I wasn't going to go, but then I was talking to the head of my department at uni, and he said he thought it'd be really good for my career, to go and to network maybe, because I want to go, I want to have get a doctorate in applied behavioral analysis, so this is good for that. So I'm missing class for 2 days, and I'm gallivanting off to Scotland, and I said to you, do you want to come? Here's how much it's going to cost, and you were like,
No, I said I would like to go. Yeah, but then we figured it probably wouldn't have been a good idea because I would have to stay in the hotel room the whole time. And then we also discovered I had a doctor appointment that day, so I couldn't anyway.
Yeah, so there you go. So plus, don't whine.
I think it's wonderful that you want to go into professional behavioral analysis, because you analyze my behavior as an amateur.
Applied behavioral analysis, and that's very different.
She analyzes my behavior as an amateur, so, it's good that she could make some money out of it, maybe.
So anyway, when I saw my supervisor, one of my supervisors at work is really great, because basically I will be doing something and he will come up and be like, oh, so what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm doing this thing. He's like, oh, that's great. And then we'll spend 20 minutes talking about video games or, a show or fantasy books. So, but we decided that my supervisor hates everything Because another coworker will be like, oh, did you see the new trailer for this new movie? Oh man, it looks really great. I'm so excited. I'll be like, I know, right? Oh, it looks really great. And they'll be like, well, I saw it, but I don't really think that it will sell what I think they will. And all people will be whinging about it online. So we decided that he hates everything. And so the other day I came up and I said, look, I got some bad news for you. And he goes, what? You need to call out? I was like, no. So my wife got the Mad Max video game and she likes it. And he's like, well, I didn't really think that, everyone would like it. I mean, I guess it looks interesting. I mean, I don't think I'm going to play it. So we thought we'd devote a little bit of time to that, because we saw Fury Road twice, and I will admit, it was really good. It was really good. I really did enjoy it.
A lot of people got pissed off at the new Mad Max game for not being a Fury Road tie-in.
That's my soda. Committing the sins that I always yell at you for over Skype.
Yeah.
Sins.
Because it's not. And then even the Honest Trailer was complaining about that it wasn't an adaptation of Fury Road or any of the other ones, and it didn't include any of the characters that you were familiar with from the films. And I'm just like, it's another adventure for Max, which is what every single film is. I am glad there's no other characters who are in both the things, because that's not how the Mad Max films work. And if the new one that he's working on has characters and stuff from Fury Road, I'll be pissed off, because Mad Max is episodic and not arc-driven. It's just one guy in the desert.
Doesn't Max not actually look like Tom Hardy?
No, he looks more like the Mel Gibson version, but without Mel Gibson's face.
They weren't even going to try to get the rights to Mel Gibson's face. Like, no, he's too crazy. We'll just make a new face.
Yeah, but basically the game, it strikes me as being similar to what Fury Road would have been if it had been made back when it was originally mooted. Because it looks more like the Mad Max desert of the olden days. The characters look more like the olden days. But it also includes locations and ideas from Fury Road. So it's like a weird mixture of the two. So you've got, like, you're driving through the 1980s style Mad Max, and then suddenly you've got the war boys turn up and stuff, the guys from Fury Road, who aren't working for Morton Joe, they're working for his son Scrotus, because he had 3 sons, one who wasn't in the film, who's the big baddie of this one. And
so they're not included in this film.
Yes. And this one, as far as I can tell, this is setting up why Max was being hunted by the war boys at the start of the film anyway, because he's fighting Scrotus, and I guess he's going to kill him at the end, and he's right now hanging around Gastown, which irritated me a little bit. I kind of wish it was entirely divorced from Fury Road, but better than having a straight adaptation of a film.
Well, I've heard it described as Shadows over Mordor except with cars, but then Yahtzee said it was boring and tedious and mostly side quests. I don't know what Angry Joe said. I haven't watched his review. I don't know if he's
And Sterling hated it too.
Jim Sterling?
Yeah.
Or...
It is a lot like Shadow over Mordor. The biggest difference is I like this and I didn't like Shadow over Mordor. Fuck Shadow over Mordor.
Neil really liked Shadow over Mordor.
Well, that's his problem.
Just Yahtzee liked it too.
Well, this one, it's much prefer it. But you've, basically, you are Max, and your important thing, as it is a Mad Max film, your important thing is getting a better car.
Pimp that ride, yo.
Yeah.
That's probably the whitest thing I've ever said, and I apologize.
It's really hard in the game to work out if you're doing the story mission or a side quest. It's all sort of congealed together into one thing.
Into a gooey treat for you and yours.
Yeah, and it's also got things like, in order to get health back, you've either got to eat dog food that you find or eat maggots off fresh corpses that you find.
Oh, is there a cutscene for that? Tell me
yes.
that. Oh, I can't play this game. I have a thing about maggots.
The maggots isn't just con. Usually it's dog food in cans. But you can also get health back by drinking from your water canteen, and in order to do that, you got to hold the button down and you drink, and it takes a long time to fill your health up, and then you have to find a source of water and fill up your canteen, which takes ages too. Getting through doors, you got to use 3 kicks to get them down. Basically, as the Honest Trailer put it, their idea of realism is to make everything take fucking ages, and I enjoyed that because in a weird way, it did feel more realistic.
I had a DM once who said one of the most immortal quotes, and I use it all the time, "Who gives a shit about the tensile strength of rope?" He said this once in the middle of a D&D game where he was, like, looking up some pointless thing because someone goes, you know what? No, I don't care about this. Like, you know what? D&D, you have to think about it too much. Who gives a shit about the tensile strength of rope? And we're like, I don't know. He's like, I have a chart for it right here. That's stupid. And I was like, okay. He's like, sometimes everybody wins, and sometimes they don't. I'm like, that's cool. Are we ordering takeaway now or what? So...
One of my issues with Dragon Age 2 and 3 is that the fighting is really, really quick.
Yep.
And
we're big damn heroes.
And people go down really, really quickly. It's
Well, it
ridiculous.
depends on your difficulty setting, really.
Yes, but it's unnaturally quick for something that involves big heavy weaponry and armor.
Don't care. We're big.
That's
damn
why
heroes.
I preferred Origins. This one is like Origins in the sense that the fights they're not more realistic because it's a fucking Mad Max game, but it feels more realistic that it takes about between 5 and 10 hits to take down even a low-level guy. Because he's a crazy person in the desert and you're sort of fatigued as well and you're punching them in the face, but they're not going to go down the first hit, which...
What if they were tired before you...
You're both tired. And you can take people down in one hit, but you gotta like stun them or whatever and have a knife on you, which you pull out a knife and you stab them through the head.
Okay.
And take them down. And there's other ones where you do a particular set of things and you can break their neck or something, but generally a fight is like a slow street fight brawl, which I felt was more realistic.
See, I'll say the same thing that I said when I first played Silent Hill 2. A friend of mine was like, "Oh my god, you need to play Silent Hill 2. I'll lend you my copy. Play it in the dark." So I'm like this is in the Ridley Park apartment. And I'm sitting there and the cat's just skulking around and I'm playing this game and so long, the prologue, okay. And I finally come, down the street and then like creepy crawly things started screaming at me. And I'm like, I don't have a weapon. I'm like, no, go. And then I finally found like a 2x4. I'm like, and hitting with it, and then it broke. And then I'm like, what? And I never played any further. And people were like, were you too scared? And I'm like, no, it's just, here's the thing. I'm a short person. And I'm a fat person. Okay, admittedly, I'm thinner, a little bit thinner now. But like, I'm not, Miss Athletic 2015. I mean, if there was a fight, you'd probably be able to beat me up. But in video games... I am the hero. I want a fucking Buster Sword that's taller than I am. I want a double-barreled shotgun that also shoots pixie dust. I want
you get a
all
four-barreled shotgun in Mad
I
Max.
want all the ninja moves. I want all the death blows. I want magical potions. I want a motherfucking mech. And I am gonna play the shit out of this, and I am gonna feel like I have the biggest balls in the world, even though I'm a girl and don't have any. That's what I want. I want to be the fucking ruler of the world until the battery runs out in my controller and I have to plug it in again and watch Netflix. And then go to work and go to class and live my life as a meek little person. It is my power fantasy.
Well, that's fine.
Respect and worship my power fantasy.
I like the...
If you have a power fantasy, write the show.
I like the feeling of realism that parts of the game have, which are unusual in video games. Like, you gotta do car combat. And the car combat... It's unlike, you don't have much in the way of weaponry in this game because, it's very scarce. So, unlike, GTA when you got, like, rocket launchers, or
Yes.
although ironically you can unlock something that's basically a rocket launcher, or things like that, you get, when you're in your car, you have your hunchback guy who's, like, worships you and worships the combustion god and thinks that you're a saint of cars and, repairs your car. He sits at the back and you can basically make him fire at things.
So he's your R2-D2.
Basically. And, the weapon you get for your car, it's a fucking harpoon gun.
That's pretty good.
And he's sitting in the back, and he fires, and you can use it, you hook onto structures, and you have to drive and pull them down. You can hook onto the wheels of their cars and pull their wheels up, therefore making them stop. You can hook onto guys and send them flying. You do all those sorts of things, and later on you can upgrade to have, like, flamethrowers come out the side of your car, which are connected into your engine, so you press a button and fire jets out. And the other one where they have thunderpoons, which are... sounds like a wonderful porno. Where you've got someone has taken the dog food cans.
You should tweet at Porn Critic and tell him the next porn he directs should be called Thunderpoon.
But they
2 dicks enter, 1 dick leaves. Oh no, Thunderpoon.
But the beyond Thunderpoon. But one of the weapons you get later on in the game is the Thunderpoon, which is a stick. Which has a dog food can on the end, which is filled with black powder and pieces of metal and some spikes, and it's basically a pipe bomb harpoon.
Yay!
Which the guy...
Well, you're Northern Irish. You have like a +3 in that, don't you?
Probably, but you can't actually. Max,
I didn't mean it.
Max can't, stack up on these newsman inside bases, but he can come across them. And yet, just last night, I had this wonderful experience where you had a bunch of guys trying to fight me. I had no energy left, so how did I take them down?
How?
By running into the room, getting their attention. One of them would follow me out, running around the corner, picking up a thunderpin, running back, stabbing in the guy's chest, kicking him into the room, exploding him, taking out several more of his friends. Do this several times.
All right.
I was almost dead and I had no water, so that was kind of the only strategy that would work.
So there you were. No.
But it's fun, and in the car you can get the guy to fire from the harpoon gun. Take out cars. Some cars take a ridiculous amount of stuff, like a hell of a lot of like armor and stuff. You got to take like 15, thunderpoon hits to take them down or whatever. But it's like the boat combat in Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
I'm so bad at that because I keep getting my port and my starboard mixed up, and I keep going the wrong way and crashing into things. Like the beginning, I pre-ordered Black Flag for Xbox 360, and that's the game that convinced me. Well, my old PS2 is a good old gal, but I need to upgrade. I got a refurbished 360, but it took me a very long time to do that one simple task of sail the boat out of the harbor without dashing it to bits upon... It was like... Basically, the entrance to the harbor was as big as a car park, and I kept dashing my boat. It was terrible. It's like me trying to drive, a cart at work. The pushable carts. I'm always crashing into things. I was like, wow. And then came the tracking mission. I said, fuck this noise. That was $40 wasted. But I did get the soundtrack for free on Amazon, so...
Well, I found with the boat combat, once you get it takes a while to get the hang of it. Once you get the hang of it, you've got it. This was pretty similar. It was difficult at the start, but now I can just, fly around, harpoon structures and, use the nitrous boost to fly off and, like, knock the thing down. Use it to take down snipers and stuff. It
sounds like a good outlet for your destructive tendencies, of which you don't have many, though.
Plus, I gotta run into the, ironically, and not very destructive, but... You have to go into the bases, you gotta take down defenses, kill all the guys, but then that base becomes people who give you scrap because, scrap allows you to upgrade yourself.
I stuck it in my eye! I can see all the colors now!
Basically. You can also upgrade your car. Like, my current car is fucking badass because it has spikes and it's like bright neon pink with skulls on it. And
gayest car in the desert.
That's deliberate because, if someone in the post-apocalyptic desert is driving around with a car that color... Okay. Here's the thing. If someone's driving around with that car, there's only a couple of possibilities. One, it's the first time they've been driving around that car, and so they're going to get beaten up easily. Or, they've been beaten up for having driven that car, and they're still doing it, in which case,
But why, after the breakdown of society, would we still associate the color pink with girliness?
I don't know. I'm just being silly.
Maybe it just reflects the sun in a good way. Yeah, if you're ever, out in a hot place with the sun beating down on you, it's good to wear white and light colors because they reflect the sun, whereas black absorbs it and will make you overheat. True facts.
And the way you get the paint for your car is rather hilarious. You got to take on a base and then take on a 6'8" BDSM gimp weirdo guy, and they are usually covered in some sort of paint, as some sort of tribal war paint, and that's how you get the paint for your car.
You scrape it off their dead body after you kill them.
Basically.
Oh Jesus.
There's no cutscene for it, but you suddenly get access to the paint that they were covered in. So that's how I got my pink.
Maybe just found they had a jug of it.
That's how I got my pink paint, from this guy who was covered in pink paint and leather.
That's very upsetting, somehow.
But it's fun. It is a lot of fun, though I have no idea if I'm currently doing story missions or whatever, because they're really badly sort of marked. It's just like...
Yeah, apparently there's a lot of side quests.
Yeah, the side quests are fine. They're running around, find places where there's lots of scrap, kill some bastards, take over bases, blow shit up, kill bastards, take down entire convoys of guys to steal their hood ornaments because they are mysterious items of great power, apparently.
Oh. I haven't been playing Mad Max.
You have a dog?
I played... Ooh.
You get a dog?
Can you customize the dog?
You can't customize the dog, but you can use him to drive around and, search out mines because you can smell mines.
My roommate's been obsessively been playing Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain, and he can customize his dog. I think it's pretty cool. See, I have not been playing Mad Max. I finished, I had some free time before the semester started, so I finished off, Dragon Age Inquisition, Jaws of Hagan, The Descent, and then when Trespasser came out, I finished it. Oh my god. I, literally needed a cigarette after that. Right at the end, this is not spoilers, by the way, right at the end, after the credits roll, there's, a message from, Mike Laidlaw and, all the people at BioWare, and they're like, thank you, fans, for, being there and being really into this and things and stuff, and bear your blade and raise it high, Dragon Age fans. And I was like, yeah, I'm with you, man.
You know the crazy library thing in the Trespasser? It
Yeah.
looks different if you're an elf compared to someone
Yeah, that's
else.
what I've heard. Well, because I was wondering when you go into the space between with the Illuvians, in Masked Empire, when the Empress and Briala and Gaspard and that other mage go in, and Felisan, like, the three elves are totally fine. But Gaspard and Celine are, like, disoriented. They have a headache. They hear, like, the slight ringing noise in the back of their heads. It's because the space was created by elves for elves. And humans and other races just kind of, like, aren't supposed to be there.
Dun, dun, dun.
So I wondered, because that was a playthrough with my human mage. So I wonder, the playthrough that I had with the elf was on the Xbox. So
You have to start again.
no, I'm not. I'm playing through with the Kunari right now. But yeah, so that was really good, and I'm really looking forward to.
I found the bit in the fucking
Dragon
library
Age 4.
really irritating. Never.
I got through it pretty quickly.
Not since Ghostbusters the video game have I had such an irritating bit where you got a floating library in a nether realm, that you got to go through fucking portals to get out of it, and it was really fucking annoying. That's really particular. Stop doing this, guys.
I didn't have to backtrack at all.
I found it.
Although I can also solve the astrariums without looking up the things online, so.
I was just trying to find the third one.
Genius!
I kept going to the wrong one and everything. It was just like, you fuckers.
I'm smarter than you.
Well, yes, we know this.
One thing, no, but like I'm just.
You are. So, what, you trying to make me feel bad about it?
No.
Okay, I feel bad. I'm sorry. Okay, I was shit at the library thing. I was shit at the Ghostbusters one again. You should play Ghostbusters 2 to show me how bad I am at that as well.
I'm not good at Ghostbusters. In real life. Well, great. Now I have to edit this episode and audition.
I'm kidding.
Now I have to edit out your tantrum.
What?
Brr. But yeah, so. Aww. Ooh. No, because I'm not good at puzzles, and like that's why some of the Legend of Zelda games I've nearly like chewed my controller in frustrated rage. So now that I'm an adult and I'm good at something, I'm like, look, and I want to have that like little 5-year-old thing. If I want to tell everyone that I've done something right, so guess what, internet? I did it right.
I think I'm even worse than you at puzzles because I can't even do the Asteriums.
It's a puzzle. I like puzzles.
Oh, fuck you, little girl from Bone Kickers. Fucker.
So if you are a Dragon Age fan like us, you should be following Ash Lady Insanity on YouTube. She is a major BioWare fan, like to the point that like she's friends with all the BioWare people because she'll go to cons and interview them, and she has a really great fan theory video about like the Titans from Descent and stuff and things, and you should really go watch it. It's one of her newest uploads. So
I came up with a fan theory, and Amika's like, "Oh, that's very nice." And then she tousled my hair as though I was a 2-year-old who had just decided I like pirates.
I just said I don't think that it's. I don't even remember what it was. I remember saying that it could be, but I don't think so.
My theory is incredibly basic. If you don't want spoilers for Dragon Age Inquisition, stop listening.
Skip ahead to where you see the Doctor Who part cut in, because we're about to get to that.
Yeah. Basically, that Solus is the maker. Because he literally created the world.
No, he didn't. He created
the world as it is.
Well, okay, yeah, with the
There you
veil,
go.
but like I think that the maker doesn't actually exist. I think the maker was an invention of Andraste and her people as a unifying kind of thing.
I think Andraste was a mage.
Because you didn't hear about the maker until Andraste.
Yeah, I think Andraste was a mage
Oh,
who
yeah,
was quite good with the Fade, who came across sleeping Solus in the Fade, and she misinterpreted something he said, or he said something with some sort of intention, and she took it the right way or wrongly.
And she took it to believe that they were married all of a sudden.
Yes, and he is actually the inspiration for the maker.
I don't think that's... It's possible. I don't know if it's probable.
A bunch of people think he's Shartan, sort of Andraste's disciple, but
Well,
I think it's more likely that he's the maker. Because he literally made the world as it is.
But the veil was before Andraste and all.
Yeah.
It was way before that time.
So he's like, hello, I made the world as it is. You're the maker. The Black City is apparently Arlathan.
Well, that we've known for a while.
So,
we've known that since,
that's where the elven gods are locked in. He locked them in there.
Gods in quotation marks.
Yeah, he locked them in there. So
I can't remember the name of it.
So that can very easily be changed into that is the home of the guy that she met. Very easily, because all the ones of his kind are in there. It's the sort of thing that through a a game of telephone before being written down, it could easily happen.
Okay.
And the chantry changes how things are written in the chant every so often, like the Shaper it does. It's entirely possible that it was miswritten down or misremembered or misreported or something, and it's sort of mutated a little bit down the line. So that's my theory. Solus is the maker.
You heard it live.
Although I'm not expecting
really
Solus
live.
to be very important in the next game, actually.
He's the big villain.
Yeah, Dragon Age 2 set off like, oh look, mages and Templars, this is going to be the big thing for the next game.
That's
no, got rid of within very quickly, and so we have a side villain from Dragon Age 2 is actually the baddie. Oh no, it's your companion.
I want, and I know that we said this many times, I want the next game to be in the north, in Minrathous. You know, we go to Parvalin. I want to see Ravane. I want to see Antiva. All those good countries I'd be on. I want to go to Navarra. See the Necropoli. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, we'll definitely be going north finally, get away from fucking Ferelden.
Well, yeah, because they, like, stabbed him.
But, Solus, I'm expecting him to be taken out like Baron von Strucker at the start of Ultron. Because, you know, in Age of Ultron, the post-credit sequence in Winter Soldier was all about, look at this, this guy's got the scepter, and he's creating superheroes and monsters and stuff like that. He's going to be the big villain working with Ultron and stuff in the next movie, and then within 10 minutes, gone. With another 10 minutes, fucking murdered off screen. It's like, you fuckers! That's what they're going to do with Solus.
That was a great moment at the beginning of Age of Ultron. Iron Man busts in and shoots everyone in the kneecaps. And he's like, well, that was a productive meeting. You hear the one guy think, no, it wasn't.
But I just think Solus is not going to be the big bad. He's either going to be killed off early, or he's going to be joining up with the hero against a different big bad at about maybe the quarter mark, third mark, or something like that.
But watch Ash Lady Insanity's video to find who. Okay, so we should probably talk about Doctor Who before we run out of time.
That's her theory.
That
involves domination. He's against domination.
I don't want to say what her theory is, so people go watch her video.
I'm not saying what her theory is.
Oh.
Just saying her theory involves, there are things that are being dominating, and Solus hates domination.
That's true.
That means Solus would probably be on your side against them.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's what I'm saying.
But anyway, so what did we watch just basically about an hour ago?
We watched The Witch is Familiar.
I liked it, and I had fun, and it was good, and it was grand. What do you have to say?
Swathes of it felt like a better version of crap New Who Dalek stories from earlier in New Who. For instance, the Dalek spoilers. The Dalek Time Lord hybrids. That's straight out of Daleks from Manhattan, but slightly fucking better. A bit.
Yeah, well, see, here's the thing. Okay, there's gonna be spoilers in this because, there's a part where Davros is like, aha, Doctor, I know why you ran. There was a Time Lord legend about creation of a hybrid. Half Dalek, half Time Lord.
No, he said the Time Lord legend about creation of two warrior races put together.
Yeah.
And so Davros was all like going, oh, well, I'm assuming one's a Time Lord, one's a Dalek. Because Time Lords aren't warriors.
Right.
Dalek, his interpretation's a bit stupid.
Right, and then Missy was like, so that part about the hybrid, why did you run? Well, here's the thing, though. The Time Lords hadn't encountered the Daleks until William Hartnell, which was after the Doctor left Gallifrey.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
Unless Davros was speaking metaphorically about the present moment, when he was basically sucking the regenerative life out of the Doctor to put into Daleks. Maybe he was saying that there's an old Time Lord, legend, and now I'm making it come true. So. But I got to say, I love the Master like this, and I am so glad that she's renewed for this season, Michelle Gomez is. Because, she and Clara are looking down into a hole. She's like, how far do you reckon that is? And Missy's like, we should throw in a stone. And I said, she's going to push her in. And she pushes her in. I was like, yee.
Oh, about 20 feet.
Yeah, that was great.
I did not like the fact that they had Dalek bodies in the sewers all just being liquefied and they're still alive. That's fucking ridiculous.
They're so radioactive that they can't die.
Dalek.
I was thinking about that. I'm like, if generations and generations and generations of Daleks make up the sewers under Skaro, well, fair enough. But, wouldn't, the lower levels be highly radioactive? Because wasn't it, only a few generations past that they stopped being radioactive? Because wasn't it...
this is new Skaro.
Oh, that's true.
Because he even mentions that Skaro was blown up and reconstructed. And I choose to take that as a reference to Remembrance of the Daleks.
And the Special Weapons Daleks said something.
Yeah, the special weapons doc said something.
And you were so happy you needed a cigarette?
I was not happy. I was just like, I was surprised, and I was really wished it would never speak again, because when its head glows, it looks fucking ridiculous. Love you, special weapons Dalek, but you're silent. It's better that way.
I'm going to go sit in the corner. That's my Dalek voice. But it was really good, and I liked Missy just not beating the shit out of physically, just metaphorically just beating the shit out of Clara all the time. And turning on the Doctor and Clara exactly when she feels, it's reached the tipping point of who is more useful to help. I liked that. The bits with, the psychoanalysis between Davros and the Doctor, I could have done with them being shorter. But the whole time I was like, oh, he's gonna trick him this way. Oh wait, no, he's not. Oh, Doctor, I need you to open my eyes. Oh wait, come closer. Oh, it's gonna be a trick now. And finally, when it was a trick, I was like, yes, I knew it was a trick.
Why did his eyes look so young and healthy?
Because they aren't really eyes. They are eyes built by nanomachines.
Probably, but then he said it were his own eyes. They should have been all milky and shit.
Well, maybe he...
Why does he not use them if they're not, he's meant to be blind.
He probably was blind, when he opened his actual eyes. Like, that was probably part of the trick, to get the Doctor to think, oh, I just need things and stuff. And the Doctor was like, aha, Doctor, I tricked you. He was like, nuh-uh. See, because I knew that that's what you were going to do, and I did went along with it because I'm awesome. It did sound like a little kid be like, nuh-uh. I knew that was going to happen.
And regeneration energy is not something. It's not something that you should be able to summon.
So did that basically suck an entire regeneration out of him?
Logically, if you can take it from him, it probably would have taken all of his regenerations, given that he was putting this into every single being on the planet.
Yeah.
That should have killed him. I did not care for that. I really wish there was something else. I honestly wish that the Davros sort of thing, it hadn't been revealed to be a trick. I wanted Davros to die, and I wanted any other further appearances to be set in the past.
But it just felt really sappy at the end. I was like, Davros tells a joke, and Davros cries real tears, and I'm like, but let's get back to the adventures of Missy and Clara. Da, da, da.
Well, I was fine with it. Moffat, in an interview, said that the reason he had so much Dr. Davros conversation, because he realised, because whenever he's not writing Doctor Who, his biggest hobby is to watch Classic Who.
Uh-huh.
And he said he realised that there had never been a bad scene between Davros and the Doctor. There occasionally hadn't been brilliant Davros and Doctor stories. Destiny of the Daleks! But the scenes where they're talking are good. So he was like, let's do an entire story with that.
I guess. Maybe other people liked it more than me. I just like that when, Missy's there, she's like, oh, it's such a pleasure to finally meet you. And then she goes to shake his hand, and he's like, okay, and shake her hand, she pokes him in the eye and runs out. I'm sorry. Master kicks ass. It just... If we have the Ronnie this season, then everything would be great.
No, we're not going to have the Ronnie.
Why?
Oh, suggestion for who Maisie Williams is playing. She's the Doctor.
Now, where did you told me this, you had this theory before. Did you read it on, Gallifrey Base, or did you come up with it?
I haven't been in Gallifrey Base in a long time. I think this might have been inspired by reading something, but mostly came up with myself. That Maisie Williams is playing a future incarnation of the Doctor, who is coming back, either possibly going to be some sort of unnamed, oh, this is going to happen in the very far future, so you can have her come back every so often and be all like, I'm the Doctor, or it's going to be a case of she's the next incarnation and she has to change history or something, so that she's not going to be the incarnation that happens, and to fix something, which will ultimately result in a new 13th incarnation. Because, let's be honest here, this is Moffat. This is exactly the sort of shit he likes to do. And he's like, if he can create a whole new Doctor that will never appear again, he will fucking do it.
She should be the Ronnie. Ronnie be creeping, yo.
She does not look like the Ronnie.
You don't have to look like the Ronnie.
She doesn't act like she's
all... Ronnie can regenerate. You don't know.
She's got a... I've got an attitude type thing.
The Ronnie had an attitude?
The Rani.
She was awesome. You
The
just.
Rani was cool. The Rani was a glam Margaret Thatcher.
I don't care. She was awesome.
She was even a scientist. Margaret Thatcher was a scientist, by the way.
Didn't she invent like custard or something?
She
Not custard,
she co-invented soft serve ice cream. She was a
Yeah.
chemist before she was an MP. But like, that's what the Rani was like. She is basically Margaret Thatcher glammed up.
But I liked the Ronnie in the thing. The first time, not the second time.
Yeah, that's how she was. She's cold. She's confident. She's
Would you say she's as cold as ice?
yes, willing to sacrifice.
Oh, there you go.
That's what I'm saying. She's
But you could have different
She's-
personalities. This is another.
she's like, I'm teenager with attitude, and it's like that doesn't fit.
It's her new incarnation.
It's theoretically possible.
You just don't like. Okay, time like the Doctor changes so much, and each of his incarnations are different. You're like, no, this Master is not the same as I wanted. Oh no, the Ronnie wouldn't be.
yeah,
like
but
it."
each character has okay.
She's a cool hip Ronnie, for the modern era. She posts on Tumblr.
No one who likes the show.
She loves pumpkin spice lattes and Instagrams herself in Ugg boots on her TARDIS. Okay, just saying.
No one who watches this show does not have some sort of a limit for how they think the character would be, no matter who they regenerate into. Everyone has their limits. Like, for instance, with me, the Doctor is upper class and he's British.
Yeah, but
if he's not one of those
Ninth
things,
Doctor
he's not
had
being
a
like
northern accent.
I know. That's what
you guys are very classist about.
I did a whole thing in one of my videos about him where I complained about that's why that's not how the Doctor is and why I felt that way. Like with the.
What if he was wealthy from the north? Like wealthy people can be in the north? They can.
Yes.
Yeah. Well then,
you
can't be like, oh well, they're not wealthy. They're in the north.
Honey, rich people who are raised in the UK, until fairly recently, they would be sent away to posh boarding schools.
Sent away to London for punishment.
To posh boarding schools where they would get a BBC English accent. Tony Blair is Scottish. He went to one of those.
Tony Blair. He was a prime minister before.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
he does not have a Scottish accent. He doesn't have a trace of a Scottish accent.
Ooh, bet the SNP was pissed off about that.
You know,
SNP,
it was traditional.
Our favorite part.
Traditional. The upper classes from whatever country until fairly recently.
Even Northern Ireland.
Yeah, they would have the upper class and the very rich from all the countries in the UK. They would tend to have upper class English accents.
But what about people from Edinburgh? Because they're very powerful. They're very proud of all like the power that they have. Like scholarly stuff and like only the best schools are in Edinburgh and stuff like that. So wouldn't they want their accent to be the best instead of going to London?
No, the schools don't have to be in London.
Yeah, but why would you have a boarding school in Edinburgh to like teach them how to speak like an English person?
There are exclusive schools in the UK.
If you were taught to speak BBC English, write the show.
There's schools like Eton and stuff, and that's...
Is it where the dessert comes from?
Possibly.
Hot mess. There's a dessert called Eton Mess. I call it hot mess because it amuses me, and it's got like whipped cream and like interesting colored berries and all sorts of things and meringue bits, and you should have some. It's good.
But just trust me, the very rich, the aristocracy in the UK, if they're using some a quote unquote working class accent, it's usually affected. It's usually...
Oh, like how, I don't like Jamie Oliver, and Garvin says he's, a Mockney. Yes. Because he's not really from London, but he talks like he's from Lower California.
This is an example. This is quite...
I hate Jamie Oliver, by the way. Basically, alright, we're talking about Doctor Who, but I'm gonna let you know, I hate Jamie Oliver because he did his show in America where basically all he did was shit on poor people. He went to, like, some ex-mining town in West Virginia where all their mines closed in the 80s, and, like, a sizable percentage of the town is on the dole because there's no jobs. These people, like, their local grocery, the Walmart Supercenter, that's 20 minutes outside of town. These people are shit poor. And Jamie Oliver is there. There's this kid, he's, like, maybe, like, 10 or 11, or might even be younger than that. And it's overweight kid. He's in the doctor's office. And basically, Jamie Oliver is screaming at his parents, he's gonna get diabetes and die. He's gonna be dead before he's 25. In front of this child who is sobbing like a goddamn baby. Because some British man is screaming at his parents that he's about to die. His doctor's standing there like, actually, that's not really what the test results said. And he basically goes around browbeating poor people for not having the money to eat organic. And that fucking pissed me off. And I hate Jamie Oliver, so there you go.
He is a bit of a knob.
He is a knob.
But
he's like extra knob. Extra large knob.
But I don't think he's full on upper class, but so occasionally they will affect working class accents. Mockney is apparently quite popular. I'm not really sure. It's like everyone. It's like a fashionable accent or something. I don't know.
Well,
but old school
only
aristocracy.
good people like Michael Caine sound like Michael Caine.
But old school.
I love his voice.
But old school aristocracy don't tend to sound working class, and.
Lord love you, Mr. Wayne. I'm just saying.
But we got completely tangentized there.
Who.
The Rani. My limit with the Rani is that she should be cold, calculating, and scientific.
You saw like 2 seconds of Maisie Williams in a trailer, and you're already
and
devising...
she's being all attitudey.
Maybe she is for just that one line.
Possibly, it's still. I'm basing it on what we've seen. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure she's not the Rani anyway. If you're gonna have a teenage Rani, there's someone who the absolutely perfect thing to aim for. Possibly not in physical design, but in attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday Addams.
Oh, that'd be great. Oh. Christina Ricci, well, she's young. She could do it. Oh.
Yeah, but even
she's American, though. They won't have her in the show. You guys, you need to start a Change.org petition to Stephen Moffat to have Christina Ricci play the new incarnation of the Rani. Please, please. This is so great. Also, I've always kind of thought she was hot. I mean, like, after she was a bitch. I mean, not, like, as Wednesday Addams. Like, when she was in Sleepy Hollow, I was like, damn, girl. That's Wednesday Addams?
What do you think of the picture of her playing Morticia?
I saw that on Facebook. I was like, my.
It's like...
Look at that.
Yes, Angela Houston and Carolyn Adams, Carolyn Jones, you've got a rival.
Yeah, well, Angelica Houston's still Angelica. But anyway, Doctor Who.
But when I'm talking about her, Wednesday Addams as the Rani, it's just her in her attitude. Christina Ricci as a teenage one back then, absolutely fine, but change the design.
Yeah.
And we've had an American master, so I don't care about having an American Rani. It's just the Doctor is upper class British.
Okay. But yeah, I enjoyed this episode. I was worried that you would be like, oh, I knew what would happen with a 2-parter. They totally cocked it up. That's my impersonation of you. I don't like this. It's not as good as old Who. I hate David Tennant.
It's not.
I'm currently stepping on his face.
That's not as good as old Who, and I am stepping on David Tennant's face.
We went to a wedding in Scotland. Hi, Susie. Hi, Elsie. And they had a cardboard cutout of the 10th Doctor for people to come and take selfies with. And we were worried about giving Hagan drinks because we were afraid she might, like, pile drive it.
Yeah, there was discussion as to whether I should punch it or not.
It's a good thing you weren't drinking, actually. You might have.
You know, I don't have issues with David Tennant. I find him a vaguely irritating actor, but, you know, that's nothing against him. That's just the way he acts in the
I saw the first episode of Broadchurch, and he was pretty alright.
No,
He has that thing that Elijah Wood had when he was playing Frodo, that he always looks like he suspects that someone is sneaking up behind him to bugger him. That's how I heard Elijah Wood's facial expressions in Lord of the Rings described, and I was like, it does look he's right, like, about to be raped from behind. Rape is not a bad thing. Is a bad thing.
Oh.
We do not condone it here.
Slip there.
We do not condone it.
I'm looking forward to AKA Jessica Jones, the second Marvel Netflix show, because David Tennant's the villain in it. It's like, okay,
maybe I'll watch it then.
I want to see it.
Maybe I'll watch it then. But yeah, I really liked this episode. I loved Missy and Clara bouncing off each other.
The Master.
I liked that Clara didn't do much talking. She just was the butt of everything.
And they recreated the Asylum of the Docks. I'm pretty sure that it doesn't fit continuity-wise with how Dalek was speaking. The stuff with Clara being stuck inside the Dalek shell and talking, and then the issues she was having. That doesn't fit with Asylum.
Haven't we seen other people? Well, no, because in Asylum, I think it was different because he was talking to her through some kind of radio wave or something like that.
Yeah, but the radio...
Because he was talking directly to her. He was not yet standing in the room listening to the speech coming out of the Dalek. Because what she was saying inside the Dalek was, I am Clara Oswald. What the Dalek speech thing was saying is, I am a Dalek.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Not in Asylum, no.
No, in this episode
In this episode.
Yeah, but in Asylum, it was different. So,
He said, I am...
But also, that one was locked up for being mad and malfunctioning. Schwa, schwa, schwa.
Well, that's true. It just strikes me... I'm going to have to watch it again, because I'm pretty sure that the Moffat has done some, typical... His usual sort of retcon that he does. And then he likes to pretend that, they're actually perfectly in line and we're stupid for noticing.
But when it started saying things that, like, it wasn't right, Missy was like, oh, and a mad one, too. Look, it sounds mad. You know, so maybe like things can change. Because the one in Dalek, when you got infused with Rose Tyler's DNA by touch somehow.
That's why it committed
it's like,
suicide.
you have changed me, Rose Tyler.
Well, if you were part Rose Tyler, wouldn't you commit suicide?
Yes, but the Dalek was gone though. It was just its shell and its electronicness, because they picked the squid out of it and threw it on the ground.
It was a really stupid storyline.
I thought
it was one of the better episodes of season 1, and it was written by Rob Shearman, the best writer that New Who has. But unfortunately, every single time he had to do a rewrite of it, it got more and more New Who.
No, the one that we just watched. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. I was talking about Jubilee.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about that one. No, I was like, because you can't even say that it was a Dalek doing things, because they took the Dalek out of it and it was just Clara in the shell.
I'm confused as to how they could take everything out, so that she could sit in it. Because the Daleks are not that big.
Yeah, I thought it was all circuitry and it shouldn't be able to sit in
Yeah, that makes no sense. But then again, in Daleks in Manhattan, they had a person got absorbed into a Dalek inside the shell with the squid thing, so...
Hello, friend.
And Hartnell was in a Dalek once, although that was a museum piece, so they had years to remove all the circuitry and stuff.
Yeah.
Although he did move around in the Dalek, he sat inside and was like, I am a Dalek, exterminate, exterminate. But he was doing it himself. He was like messing around.
And I was thinking about like the scene where the Doctor comes rolling on into the Dalek. How much do you want to bet there's like so much blooper footage of various people in the crew being like, okay, my turn, I want to roll in, and like bumper carring with the props, and I think that'd be really cool.
And I noticed that for the second time, they have done... The second time this season, we've got episodes where it's like, all the Daleks of all time. They have all these 60s ones, they have these 80s ones, these 70s ones, and they got this archive of Dalek ones. I'm pretty sure I even saw like a Peter Cushing movie one. It's like, look at those Daleks, we love them all. No fucking victory for the Dalek ones. None. None at all. It's like, someone in the show realizes they were a bad fucking idea.
Or maybe they don't have the props anymore.
And they were like, well, by themselves they look terrible, but beside ones that look good, oh boy!
She said.
Something that's a 5 by itself, you put it beside a 10, oh god!
Well, we're running out of time, so I'm giving this one a thumbs up.
It was fine. It was like a remake of several bad Russell T Davies Dalek stories, but improved.
And so we saw a trailer for next week. What are your early thoughts about that? It looks like base under siege by monsters.
By ghosts.
Yeah, but no, because what you did for the thing.
Quick guide to classic Who.
Yes. Which you guys should go and watch.
Next one, the special effects on the ghosts look somewhat dodgy.
Maybe it's because they're secretly holograms.
Because they put the budget into the first 2 episodes, so it's looking like a little bit of a bottle show.
No, fair enough. But I think all of them are 2-parters this season.
Yep,
so
they
it's
are.
going to be a 2-parter. I think it looks good. I liked the line, we're fighting ghosts on the bottom of the sea in the middle of a nuclear reactor. And I was like, that's cool. I hope there'll be radiation ghosts. I was going to write this short horror story about radiation ghosts. Well, they weren't really ghosts. It's called Lit Shadows, and I really ever couldn't think of a really good way to pull it off. But basically the idea that you have some very heavily radioactive land upon which a house has been built, and the psychicness of emotions got absorbed in radioactive. I could never really make it work scientifically.
They were sentient.
No, they weren't sentient. They were just kind of there. So there wasn't really a horror hook. I just,
You know the line in the trailer?
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the bottom of the sea fighting ghosts in a nuclear reactor. That sort of line really fucking irritates me.
No.
Because
We're nearly out of time.
it's a line,
it's
it's got 2 points for it. One, it's there to be all like, oh, attitude, I am telling you about what's going on and I find it incredulous. I'm just going to make sure the audience realizes just how ridiculous this is because I'm awesome. And the second point is, it's designed for the fucking trailer, so people watching the trailer can go, oh, that's what it's about. And both of these things irritate me.
I'm sorry.
The Doctor could in Ark in Space could have been all like, I'm standing at a space station with a station full of frozen humans battling an absorbing insect called a Wirren. Isn't it ridiculous? But no, he was too far fucking busy trying to stop people from being killed by the fucking Wirren.
So that's been us for this week, for Lesbian Talk episode 94, and the fucking Wirren. I have been the Omega, and honey, who do you have one to have been this week? Choose wisely. And don't leave too much dead silence, because to get this up timely, I'm not going to put it through audition. So I can't edit out the silence. So if you don't choose soon, I'll just cut it off here.
Mega!
Me?
No, Mega.
Who is Megan?
So you say, oh, Mega.
We'll see you all next time.